Hello everyone and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, Orzhov Midrange. So I wanted to just throw a pile of cards together and run a deck, and I've landed on Orzhov Midrange, which is just a pile of cards thrown together. So that's kind of the idea of the deck. There's not really anything crazy in the deck. There's not very, combo synergistic or aggressive endgame. This is just kind of like I have a lot of good cards in Orzhov. Hopefully I can win with it kind of deck. But there are some cards in here that are of note. Number one is Breach the Multiverse. I feel like everyone's running a Traxa these days, or everyone's running a Tally, so maybe I can breach and actually hit something. Who knows, right? And I always like to get this card to work, but every time I play Breach, it's like we both mill 10 lands and I just cry in the corner. But we also have the End, which is another card I think is very good against more of the control-y side of the meta. Or not the control-y, the top end of the meta game, where a lot of people just have creatures that they hope to win with, like Atraxa. But if we can target an Atraxa and exile all of them in their deck, that will make them sit in the corner and cry. So that's kind of the idea of the deck. That's what black is doing in the deck, but most of the other part of the deck is mono-white. So mono-white control is something that has been around since Farewell was a card, and the whole deck kind of just tops off to that one card over there. So what we have is, in the early game, 4 lay down arms, just to make sure that our opponent exiles whatever creature they have that's attacking us. Then we have 3 Ambitious Farmhand and 2 Spirited Companion for a tempo turn 2 play, as well as 3 Ossification for a potential removal. Then in a 3-drop, we got 1 Loran to pop an artifact or enchantment, 3 Restoration of Eiganjo to get more lands out, and 4 Wedding Announcement to really get that board presence. We also have 1 Celestus to kind of loot filter, but also get that artifact trigger, well, not artifact trigger, but get that artifact within part of the condition when we are running Roadside Reliquary. Then we have, in a 4-drop, 1 Archangel Elspeth, 2 Serra Paragon, and 3 Wandering Emperor. The 1-2-3 punch. But we also have in the 4-drop also to the end to take out our big creature from opponent's side. Maybe take out their Shield Drip, maybe take out their Atraxa. Then we have 2 Sunfall. We have Ossification, so we don't need to have 4 Sunfall, but we should still have some board wipe in case our opponent, lands a Her Migration on us or something like that. And then 1 Virtue so that we have our endgame, which is just to get our creatures bigger, bigger, and bigger. Then in the 6 to 7 drop, we got 1 Farewell, 2 Eternal Wonder, and 2 Breach the Multiverse. Very standard Orzhov mid-range deck, but still I think this could be fun to play. And then we have in the land base, because we're Orzhov, we're going to need a lot of 24 lands, right? We're going to need a lot of lands to play, but we have Ambitious Farmhand and Restoration of Eiganjo, so we don't want to run too many lands because we can definitely fetch them out. We got 1 Eiganjo, 8 Plains, 2 Swamps, 4 Raffine Tower, 2 Myrics, 4 Obscura Storefront, and 3 Roadside Reliquary. So that we're not going to just draw lands and get stuck, right? We have a lot of cards to get our planes out to trigger laydown arms, but then the rest is just hopefully getting us additional card draws whenever we need it. That's the whole idea of the deck. Hopefully this deck can do what we want it to do. Let's go try it out. Go Orzhov Midrange. If you play through 3 of your turns without seeing the timer fuse, you'll get a 30-second extension for a future turn. Please don't. Nobody wants that. That is not how you play, how you make a game fun for the casual people. Alright, we're gonna go first. Are we more aggro than they are? That's weird. Alright, and then we get Spirited Companion on turn 2. Good enough of a team. Hello. Hello, Governor. How you doing? Land a land. Ah! Delver. Do we get rid of that Delver? We can definitely back that Delver up with cards, right? So I think we get rid of that Delver. Iconoclast. Okay, so that's not what I think it is. I thought it was mono blue, but instead it's Izzet spells. Now I want my lay down arm back. Is he gonna attack? Well, I mean, well, is that right? That can't be right. Take out your Balmor. I would have drawn first, but I don't think drawing matters here. I had to play the land and draw anyways. Another awesome case. Alright. Now what? I'll just take it. Delver. Do we take out his Delver again? I would like to draw cards. Card, please. Alright, that's a land. Now we have 2 2s. Yeah, that deck is so weird. Like, I don't know how it's supposed to be good. Do we just keep up the mirrors? Break their 1/1, and I don't know where that's going. Lightning strike my face. Okay. Okay. Very good. Lightning strike my face twice. I can lay down on my own creature. I don't know what that was. I don't know why he attacked. Okay, that was an easy first game. Our opponent was definitely more aggro than we are. I don't know how we got to go first. I don't also know why our opponent decided to attack us with the creature that they really needed to keep alive. So, everything was wrong. Completing quests is the best way to earn gold. Oh boy, gold! Yeah, 1,000 of them to buy 1 pack just to get a card that you already have. Barnaby, hello. We got Ambitious, and then Wedding Announcement. That's a good enough keep, but I don't know, depending on what they have. Planes, interesting. Do they have a play? Recruitment Officer. Do we get rid of the Recruitment Officer? And then what do we do, right? How do we fight the next wave of creatures? I'm thinking I'll play Thalia. I think it'll be fine, because we're just going to keep ramping. Guardian. Alright. I don't need to draw a land. I could draw a better card than a land. Not a better card than a land. Adeline. I'm gonna take a lot of damage here. Roadside Reliquary, Wedding Announcement. No attacks. We're gonna take a lot of damage here. But hopefully we can survive. Yeah, I wish I had my lay down arm now, but honestly, I still think it was right to fire off on turn 1, because otherwise, I mean, honestly, they curve out 1, 2, 3, right? And I did not curve out the removal. And I cannot imagine having the removal 1, 2, 3 and not use it on Guardian of New Benalia when I had the chance to. Some real good cards. I don't think I can take 6, so I got a block here. Is there a way I can survive this? With 2 farmhands, they're both white, so Adeline will definitely get through. Take action. Give me a Plains. I need to top deck Sunfall or I die. That's pretty much the game. Also, we drew a lot of lands, so no getting around that. Alright, Sunfall win game here. Not playing as Dahlia was really weird. Yeah, you get the outline through. We'll take 1, 2, 3, 9. That's 12. I think we just die like this, right? Should we remove as much on board as we can? No. There's no point. Sunfall or a bust? That is a bust. GG. Yeah, well, our deck has a lot of removal, like Ossifications, Late Arms, Sunfall, Farewell. You know what we drew? Lands. Well, that's not gonna help us out. That's fine. I mean, you know, you're gonna get aggroed out on Arena. Like, on a good day, probably like 50% of the games. Honey Guide. Hello, Honey Guide. Opponent goes first. We got Lay Down Arm and Farmhand. That's good enough of a keep, but still. Hesitant. But hopeful. Blue, red. That's a weird color off the bat. Jeskai. Well, we're going to counter our Farmhand. Counter the Restoration. No, they're just gonna draw some cards. Alright, so that is a control deck. Full on control. They're not gonna play anything. We'll discard the doggo. Draw us a card. It's a full-on control deck that I'm not quite sure how to fight against. Will he Sunfall next turn? I don't want to play out a Celestus into open mana. I think it'll just get countered. I don't think he's gonna Sunfall next turn because he's definitely waiting to Sunfall us when the Restoration of Eiganjo flips. That's a lot of card draw. I'm not aggro enough for that kind of card draw. These sleeves are disgusting, by the way. I don't know who will like these kind of sleeves, but you're probably a bad Magic player. 5 mana. Not gonna do anything. Yo boy. I'm gonna get a big Sunfall. Temporary lockdown. Okay. That's actually really interesting because my Loran just kind of breaks that. But I don't really want the Loran out yet. I want the Celestus out. I think he's kicking up make this appear. I mean, it's not going anywhere. And the Celestus hurts him a lot because he's a draw gold deck. Need another black mana for the end. Not playing anything for like 500 turns. Interesting. Alright, my virtual loyalty is probably going to get countered. That's a very good win con against that deck. I don't want it to be so easily countered. So, let's just get a free card draw here. Ossification can go. It's not that useful here. Let's attack and get a 1-1 out. Wandering Emperor.
I've learned much during my travels. Let me show you.
What? He's got... He's gonna activate it on something. I will have 3 mana and I have nothing else to do, so... The end is Emperor. They can make this appear, but that's only I can pay for that mana. If he had negates, he has to have negates.
I guess that's that.
Sunfall, Spell Pierce, Sunset Reverie. Interesting. What is your deck? Zergo and Ojutai. Huh. Okay, that's the deck, right? Zergo deck. Zergo, Ojutai. Really nothing else. Take out the Emperor, take out his win con.
We must protect the people.
I can't cast it, he has Spell Pierce. What am I doing? But Spell Pierce doesn't actually do much. Sunfall? He still has the mana, so he can still Spell Pierce my Virtue. Let's do the Loran. Are you excited, opponent? Broken. Thanks for all these cards. I'll take a plane. I'll take another plane. And I'll draw a card. Alright, this is a good card to drop. I don't actually have to discard anything. That's freaking-tastic. He's probably going to Sunfall again, by the way. So, not going to play anything into it. Yep. Normal play pattern here. Tap land. I don't think he's going to use his mana to make a 3/3, but he could. Sunset... Oh, okay. To draw a card. Now he's tapped out for everything. Go to my turn. All those lands I just drew, now they're just like free loots. Ossification. I think it's a good time to land an Eternal Emperor. Take out a 4/4. Then the 3/3 would just attack, right? Is it better to land a Breach? I actually don't have much in the graveyard for Breach. I can also land one of these. These are all good time to land these, right? So I gotta figure out which one to land. I feel like the Breach is gonna whiff. But it is the good time to land a Breach when he's tapped out, so let's do it. Not all dead. Let's land a Paragon. I think the Paragon is good. And then Zergo no Jutai is pretty good. Now I got so many cards I can play for free. Unfortunately, most of these are kind of dead draws. Let's take out Plains from our deck. And then we will attack. Now we're going to draw a card. Alright, also this. What do we get? Wedding Announcement's pretty good. And then we... no. and then we'll end turn. Not retaining Zergo just into your hand. Okay, we didn't whiff there. Memory Deluge, good luck. Hope you get something good. They have Spell Pierce in their deck, but that's all the counter I found was just Spell Pierce. I don't know. It feels like not a mill deck, but a deck that hopes to land the Emperor and win with it. But they can't because I exile all of their Emperors. So what are they gonna do? They're just gonna let this happen? Okay, well, let's not get the storefront. Let's get a wedding announcement out. Wedding announcement's pretty good. Would they like to counter this? I want to play this first because I don't know what he's gonna do to my Serra Paragon. Spell Pierce. I will pay the 2. Well, first resolve. Does he want to Spell Pierce it again? No. Okay, so it's out. And then we will play a land. And then we'll attack. I mean, he has no Wandering Emperor, so what am I afraid of? Down to 4. Hey, Eiganjo's pretty good, right? I don't need another Ossification. Decline. And we'll have to discard a card. Faithful Mending. I think he's hoping for a, like, not a Doomscar, what is that called? Depopulate? I discard 2 cards. I don't need that many Raffine Tower. Quick study. There is a Depopulate. You guys. Gotta be careful with my deck though. 20 cards left. Will he turn one of the 4/4s into a creature? No, Sunset Reverie just to draw a card. Okay. He's doing this again, which I don't agree with. I know the Sunset Reverie is a good card and all, but it is at the sort of detriment of making your deck more susceptible to my plays. Because now you have no counterspells, and I got Eternal Wonder. Spell Pierce. Resolve. I will pay the 2.
I fight for the entire multiverse. Have a nice trip.
Alright, let's put a Roadside Reliquary out again. That way we can double wedding announcement. I don't remember if that's Farewell on the deck. I didn't see it, but I did not look that closely. Even with the Farewell, right? He cannot take out the 6/6 Emperor. Memory Deluge. You got it. Draw all the cards you need. No card left in your deck really helps you. He has a Zergo. I guess that's something, but I don't think oh, he can't play a Zergo. I don't think a Zergo is going to help him out because... Okay, how many Zergos did I mill? 3. Maybe he has one more. Dragons. So he's going to make the Zergo uncounterable. Interesting. Good luck with that. I can also make a flyer to block his Zergo. Put an upkeep stop to auto aura. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I am just gonna play it again.
up this mess. You're coming with me.
Okay, so Kenny's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he can farewell and Zergo. I think, although if he does that, he doesn't actually kill my board, right? The only thing is, should I even do anything other than playing a planeswalker? Because he can farewell. Let's just play a planeswalker. Zergo's a 1/1.
I am shining blade in the dark. You will shine bright here.
Haven't played a land yet, so I will play a land. Zergo is only a 4/4, right? It attack the Archangel, that's not much. He can attack with the Restless Anchorage. I don't know why he would do that. That is awful. This does not attack into 2 creatures. So, or they cannot both attack the Wandering Emperor, the Eternal Wanderer. Since its passive is you can only attack with 1. They could kill the Archangel Elspeth, but that's their whole turn. And I want them to do that because then I'll kill him. So good luck. No, just my face. Even better. Because I have a lot of face. In case he hasn't noticed. Well, Honey Guide, what are you going to draw? One last card. Return Zergo to your hand. Play a land. 3 mana. Facing down 6 damage or 8 damage at 6 life. Sunset Reverie. Okay, that's something. Now he's at 10. Well, that's interesting because he's got 1 mana, right? I don't know what he's going to do with that 1 mana. But I'm going to exile 1 of your creatures.
Have a nice trip.
I'm going to make this fly.
Ascend!
I will ossify your last creature. And now attack. GG. Ah, no match for the might of the Archangels. Woohoo! Orzhov. We got Orzhov to win. That's pretty good. Well, the big thing is that our Breach the Multiverse didn't whiff. And the even bigger thing is our opponent, oh boy, he really got caught. The Emperor got de-ended. That's what made this deck so good. I think the End is such an amazing card because it doesn't just target creatures, it targets planeswalkers. So with the meta kind of shaping out the way it is, we have an idea about almost every deck we encounter, like what they're playing. So we can very easily take out their biggest threat. And that deck, the biggest threat, is probably the Wandering Emperor, right? That's the one that will catch us off guard. Zergo and Ojutai is a good card, but it's not flash speed. So if we can catch their Emperor, now they have no board presence or tempo advantage. And then we can attack without worrying about anything. They're not going to exile our attackers because they have no Emperor. So I think the biggest thing that we were able to do was the end on their Emperor on the turn that I was playing around make this appear, but what they had was Spell Pierce. Either way, they could not stop the end. And that's when the end came for them. That's kind of the idea of the deck. This is a very fun deck. Honestly, I didn't think this deck would be able to do as well as it did, but we only really won 2 out of the 3 games. We lost to the aggro game because we did not draw any removal. We draw a lot of lands, right? So if we draw, instead of all those lands, instead of the 2 Raffine Towers, if we drew 2 Lay Down Arms, that would have been a different story because we would have exiled turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Obviously, that's not what had happened. And we got overrun, we couldn't Sunfall that 1 game, but this deck is still very strong. I don't think there's any change I would make to this deck. You can say that we can cut a Farewell and add another Sunfall, but I honestly don't even think that would be warranted, because Farewell is pretty good if we have to fight a board of enchantments. So in that sense, I still think this deck is probably the perfect way it is right now for this version of the deck. It's just really fun to de-end your opponent and just get all of their... This is what I really liked back in the day. Surgical Extraction, Extirpate, the big brain deck. You know, it's just knowing your opponent's deck and taking out their threat. That's all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.